大家好，今天是2025年10月16日。神秘 CEO 和数十亿美元销售，被禁英伟达芯片是否流入中国？这篇文章报道了 Megaspeed 这家公司和英伟达之间的关系，揭示了它可能帮助中国绕过美国的出口限制，从而获取先进的人工智能芯片。那 Megaspeed 是一家，它总部是位于新加坡的一个数据公司，它计划在这1年内采购20亿美元的英伟达人工智能技术芯片。那公司的高管黄乐，曾经在之前与英伟达的 CEO 黄仁勋一同出席台北的聚会，但是这篇报道中没有办法知道两个人究竟是不是亲戚，有没有什么样的关系。那么在这之后呢，Megaspeed 就开始从英伟达采购了大量的晶片。那现在美国商务部和新加坡的警方正在调查 Megaspeed 有没有通过马来西亚和印度尼西亚的子公司供应芯片，然后绕过出口管制，将芯片运到中国。那美国是担心说这些芯片可能被用于中国的军事或者监控活动。那尽管 Megaspeed 声称是新加坡公司，却完全遵守美国的出口控制法规，但政府对其是否规避了这些限制是提出了疑问。通过国际网络和空壳公司就是中国部分企业，它还是可以绕过出口限制的。那有可能说，其实像现在的一个芯片走私网络已经就相当于说它已经建立好了。那究竟怎么样的话，我们就是看美国政府它的进一步调查。那英伟达方面他表示说，他们没有证据说这些芯片是被走私到中国的，然后并且他也是挺 Megaspeed 的，说它是一个独立的新加坡公司，所以也没有任何引起警示的信号。那当然了，英伟达还是会配合美国的政府去调查这个事情。那根据摩根士丹利的预测说，Megaspeed 在未来的1年可能会购买价值32亿美元的英伟达产品。那 Megaspeed 通过在马来西亚设立了子公司和数据中心，然后声称服务中国客户，所以说这就是他们会被调查的原因。那我们具体来看一看，新闻的一个报道的原文是如何讲述这些事情的。Mystery C.E.O. and billions in sales. Is China buying Nvidia chips? On a humid June night last year, Johnson Huang, the chief executive on Nvidia, held court with several of his company major Asian customers at a bar with sweeping views of Taipei. They stood and toasted the booming artificial intelligence industry. Next to the Nvidia chief was a woman named Huang, or Alice Huang, an executive of a Singapore-based data center company called Megaspeed, which was poised to buy $2 billion Nvidia AI technology over the next year. Though Mr. Huang and Ms. Huang and Megaspeed are little-known players in the AI industry. Their association with Nvidia and its chief executive has recently become a preoccupation in Washington. Commerce Department officials have been investigated whether Megaspeed, which has close ties to Chinese tech firm, is helping companies in China sidestep American exports restrictions, according to more than a half dozen current and former officials and other people familiar with the companies, who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss an examination that is not public. The inquiry, which is ethic, calls to into questions how close Nvidia is checking where its AI chip end up, highlight the possibility of America's export laws easily being sidestep. Megaspeed is also facing scrutiny from Singaporean policy, who told the New York Times in a statement that they are investigating the company for breaching local laws without elaborating further. As a dominant provider of artificial intelligence chips, Nvidia's annual revenue has shown nearly sevenfold in the past 4 years, making it the world's most valuable publicly traded company. But the Silicon Valley company's material risk has coincided with U.S. government concerns that its chips could help advertise like China develop new weapons, severe dissidents, and leap ahead of the United States in AI development. Those concerns that both the Biden and Trump administrations to crack down on AI chip sales to China, but Chinese companies employ global networks of middlemen and shell companies to sidestep those limits in a legal gray area. There have built vast data centers in Southeast Asia that have few Chinese gains in AI. Other Chinese companies have set up illegal smuggling networks, moving perhaps hundreds of thousands of block ships into China. As per estimates, in April, the House Select Committee on China opened an investigation into Nvidia's sales of chips to China and South Asia. Nvidia has expanded its operations in Taiwan in recent years, but it remains firmly entrenched to Silicon Valley, where it was founded more than 3 decades ago. Megaspeed illustrates the challenges facing U.S. government officials trying to keep China from accessing powerful AI chips after splitting off from a Chinese gaming company in 2023. Megaspeed set a subsidiary in Malaysia that quickly snapped up nearly $2 billion worth of Nvidia's most advanced products. Most of these chips come from the U.S. branch of a Chinese company that has already been sanctioned for providing technology to the Chinese military, according to records obtained through Import Genius, a trade data platform. Megaspeed has funneled those chips to data centers in Malaysia and Indonesia that appear to remotely serve customers in China. That is not necessarily illegal, but it can be found lawful if it is done on behalf of a Chinese company. U.S. officials have also been scrutinizing whether Megaspeed diverted some of those chips onto China in violation of U.S. law. Two people familiar with the company said the Times visited sites in 4 countries, reviewed shipment records, business registrations, videos, and photographers, and interviewed more than 30 people to shed light on Megaspeed's cooperation. Reporters tracked business listing that lead to a Malaysia data center and shopping mall, a nearly empty office in Singapore, and a dilapidated store from outside Kuala Lumpur. Nvidia said there was no evidence that its chips had been smuggled into China. Jiong Zhizhou, a spokesman for Nvidia, said in a statement that the chip maker has engaged with the U.S. government regarding Megaspeed. Nvidia's compliance team also looked into Megaspeed and it determined it was wholly owned and operated by a company based and headquartered outside China with no China shareholders, he said. Mr. Zhizhou said Nvidia has visited Megaspeed's facility multiple times during a visit this week. He said Nvidia employees found no evidence of diversion and confirmed that what we previously observed, Megaspeed is running a small commercial cloud like many other companies throughout the world, as allowed by U.S. export control rule. Megaspeed said in an email statement that it is a Singapore-based company operating fully in compliance with all applicable law, including U.S. export control regulations. It declined to comment further. Ms. Fang did not respond to requests for comment. The Commerce Department, which oversees export control, said it did not comment on anti-enforcement matters and could not confirm or deny the existence of any pending investigations. It added that the Trump administration will aggressively investigate allegations of wrongdoing and that exporters should perform due diligence and investigate any red flag. The White House did not provide a comment. Singapore Ministry of Home Affairs declined to comment. The Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry in Malaysia said that the country had recently strengthened its oversight of the exports of AI chips and that it maintained an active dialogue with the United States about its control. Aaron Banik, an assistant director for technology, security, and government under the Biden administration, said Megaspeed raised many red flags, including the ownership claims and possible ties to such entities that should have made Nvidia's executives question whether they should have permitted the company to have access to its AI chips. It is hard to see a justification for taking that risk, he said, from China to Singapore. Megaspeed was created in 2023 when Seven Road, a Chinese gaming and cloud computing company with ties to state-backed investors, built off its overseas operations in Singapore and renamed its Megaspeed. Megaspeed's team is Huang as its managing director for its first 8 months before removing her from the role in its corporate paperwork. She has also described herself as the company's chief executive. The company's current director is from Singapore but is based in Shanghai, according to business records and his social media account. Company announced the the war was gambling to buy Nvidia chips used to build ChatGPT, which was released in November 2022, and the US government was setting up a technological dragnet to stop advanced chip sales to China. It is not clear when Ms. Huang and Mr. Huang, who are not related, first met. She was meeting with a crowd of tech executives just after midnight at a Taipei bar in early June of last year when she offered to ask Ms. Huang of Nvidia to join them, recalled Parker Streamy, an executive who was with the group. She said, "I bet you guys I can get Johnson here." And then Johnson immediately showed up, Mr. Streamy said, referring to Mr. Huang by his first name. Photos posted to LinkedIn by NetSounder, a data software provider where Ms. Michin is chief executive, show Mr. Huang at a bar with the group. Shortly after Ms. Huang reached out, Mr. Huang arrived in his trademark black leather jacket and drank a whiskey shot with the group. He was accompanied by two other Nvidia executives and had planned to attend the party, said a person close to the company. Our field operations teams often host groups of customers and partners at conference, and when Johnson is available, may ask him to visit to provide updates on the market. Mr. Zhizhou of Nvidia said Mr. Huang and Ms. Huang were photographed together again in May, visiting a restaurant in Taipei with an Nvidia aide after a business dinner and with other AI suppliers. In a video from the SAT News channel in Taiwan, she waited behind Mr. Huang as he passed out noodles from the restaurant to onlookers and spoke to the Taiwanese press. Ms. Huang has a scant online profile. She spent much of her career in mainland China, including working as a television reporter for Chinese state media and as a private banker, according to the biography found on social media of a former employer. The Times could not confirm either of those experiences. Ms. Huang left Megaspeed in recent months. The exact date is unclear. It is also unclear why she left and what she is doing now. Both she and Seven Roads, the Chinese company that Megaspeed split off from, have close ties to a web of wealthy investors and tech companies with data centers projects in China, according to a review of corporate and trade records compiled by the platform Widescreen and Syria, and analysis by the Center for Advanced Defense Studies of Washington nonprofit. The owners of Seven Roads include the Chinese central government and several local governments. Before joining Megaspeed, Ms. Huang was executive director for a Shanghai-based fund that has invested in Seven Roads and had ties to state-backed firms. Valuable shipment. It is not clear where Megaspeed's billions of dollars come from to buy ships, but a few weeks after the gathering in Taipei last year, Megaspeed began receiving a steady supply of multi-million-dollar shipments of some of Nvidia's most advanced chips, according to Malaysia trade record. Those purchases would have been illegal under US law if Megaspeed was still a Chinese subsidiary, but Nvidia has determined that Megaspeed was a Singapore company, said a person close to company's compliance division, Nvidia, it was a newcomer to the cloud computing industry that would compete for business against US companies. Megaspeed and Nvidia officers said did not raise any red flags. Over the next 3 months, Megaspeed bought $1 billion of Nvidia technology. Within the next 9 months, it secured roughly $1 billion more worthwhile. Nvidia recorded roughly $150 billion in the data center scales last year. Malaysia import records sold the bulk of those advanced Nvidia chips was purchased from the Wirescreen says is the U.S. subsidiary of Inspire, a major Chinese tech firm that the United States has sanctioned for trying to acquire American technology to build supercomputers for the Chinese military. Inspire and Ivers, the subsidiary, didn't respond to requests for comment. In 2023, Inspire was added to the U.S. entity list for supporting the Chinese military. The listing means that the U.S. company like Nvidia are barred from selling their technology to Inspire without a specific license, but because Inspire's subsidiary Ivers is based in California and records sales as a U.S. company, it can buy Nvidia shares freely. Legal experts said the shipments went to Speedmetrics, a subsidiary that Megaspeed has set up in Malaysia in early 2024, according to shipment records obtained by Import Genius, the trade data platform. The registered address for Speedmetrics on the shipping record led to dilapidate storefront outside Kuala Lumpur, where the sign out front advised a construction company. Caused by ties reporters to the construction company went unsure, and no one was inside when reporters visited the address in late September. Employees at the law firm next door said they rarely saw new people in the office. In September 2024, the officials with the U.S. Bureau of Industry and Security, the division of the Commerce Department that oversees export controls, visited Megaspeed's data center in Malaysia to investigate suspicions about how much it was buying. Officials was concerned that Nvidia technology on site was still in box. 3 people familiar with the inspection said such behavior rose suspicious because some companies bypass checks by showing how they have the technical before later shipping in elsewhere. U.S. officials suspect that some of the ships may have been sent to China, the people said, but they do not have the conclusive evidence. After the busy U.S. officials communicated their concerns about Megaspeed to Singapore and Malaysia authorities as well as Nvidia. The city people said the United States has been persuading those governments to better police data center projects and ship smuggling networks. In February, Singaporean police arrested 9 people, including several Chinese-born executives of other technology companies, for making misleading claims about the end destination of computer surveys that use the AI chip. Malaysia said in July that it would require permits for all exports and transfer of Nvidia chips. The crackdown has coincided with the store in Megaspeed chip purchase. By late July, trade records indicate that the company had stopped receiving shipments of advanced Nvidia chips, despite expectation that it would buy billions more. Nvidia confirmed Megaspeed did not submit new orders for months, but it did not offer an explanation why the company was projected to buy such as 3.2 billion of Nvidia highest performing computers over the next year. According to the Morgan Stanley, those computers are packed with the company's AI chip, a boom fueled by China. In Singapore, Malaysia, trace of Megaspeed linger a half-empty office on corporate documents and behind the fence of advanced AI data center in a premier official building in Singapore's central business district. Just 2 employees were present on a recent weekday in Megaspeed's office. A door behind a small stage waiting area gave way to minimalist White House with several clusters of empty desks. A human resource manager said she had met few of firm's directors, most of whom were based in China and seldom visited Singapore. Most of its clients, she added, are Chinese. She said Ms. Huang had stopped down months earlier because of personal commitments to other business. Johnston, who is listed in corporate records as the company's Singapore director, is never present, she said. According to corporate ownership document, Megaspeed is owned by a shell company that Mr. Tan owns. The shell companies addressed that to accounting firms in Singapore, where employees told the Times reporters that they did not know how to reach Mr. Tan. 2 hours north, Hooking data center rise over palm oil fields that dot the Malaysia countryside. Sydney Tech Park, a complex of data center with its own ties to China, Bristol with cameras and high tensions, while it was their U.S. officials found Megaspeed's inventory still in both. In Johor, the Malaysia state across the border from Singapore, Megaspeed's Malaysia subsidiary, Speed Matrix, has an office on the upper floors on a shopping mall near snack store and beauty parlors. The official windows were obscured by reflective glass, and its doors was fitted with fingerprint scanner. With a Times reporters visited, city employees in science did not answer despite repeating knocks. A woman eventually emerged for lunch and identified herself as an administrator. She said she had no contact with her boss. When asked what the company did, she said, "It is not clear." Thanks for listening. Hoping your life fully with happiness and joy, and with you have more courage and confidence. 感谢。哎呀，我可能是那个啥。那其实这样读下来的话，好吧，就是这位叫黄乐的女士，就是她和英伟达的那个谁。CEO 黄仁勋就是有过多次的见面，并且黄乐是有中国的一个背景的，就是他在中国工作，然后并且是以国企这一类工作，但是他为人很低调，因为查到的这些数据，就是说他的就职信息啊什么的是无从考察的。然后另外就是说，目前追踪到的2家就是 Megaspeed 的这个公司的话，它就是个空壳公司，它的控制人是谭先生，但谭先生从来不露面，然后办公室里只有2个人，一个买20亿、30亿芯片的一个公司里只有2个人，这确实是不太正常。然后黄乐呢，现在也是已经从这个公司中，就是说他离职了，就是去别的地方高就了，具体情况不知道。那就是呢，这个报道还说了，又查了2个线索，是新加坡的子公司以及马来西亚的子公司，也同样都是差不多情况，人去楼空。但是呢，在马来西亚的那个厂子里还放着，就是说英伟达的那个芯片。怎么说呢？就是说，哎呀，就是说现在美国它打着说，就是说，中国的芯片更多的是用来了，就是做那个叫什么，制造武器，还有一个是做监控用。这2点，sorry，这2点也是无可反驳的。但其实，因为我本身作为 AI 的一个从业者来看的话，就是说，中国的一个监控的东西如此之多，而且中国确实是，哎呀，万物的就是 Made in China 的一个 culture，就是说，中国那边的，就是包括对数据啊，或者各种，就是我觉得跟印度差不多吧，就大家都是数据满天飞。然后除了这些官方的，其实还有非官方的，就是包括各种商用。你看，像无人机啊，哪怕到我的家乡，就是说有通过无人机去做重体力活等等，就是各种应用都有在发展。所以说呢，就是我估计就是英伟达这个芯片的话，就是说美国制裁有它的理由。但我会觉得说，就是在商业的领域中，其实也会用到。那不清楚这具体到底是怎样。但像中国控诉，美国控诉说中国通过经济胁迫，但美国也是类似。不过这个世界我还是搞不懂啊，就哪怕你看，呃乌克兰和俄罗斯的战争，那即便就是大家各自有战队，可是都只能眼睁睁的看着战争的发生。嗯、哪怕说那个，以色列和不是伊朗以色列和加沙地带的一个战争，哪怕大家眼睁睁看着加沙这个城市就是毁于一尽，但却对就是现状都是属于束手无策。经济学在一些博弈论啊，或者说我们在做一些很多就是 decision making 的时候，就是去考量说，就比如说这条交通道路它很拥堵，那么我们在中间去开辟另外一条新的路，是否能解决这个拥堵？可是这个实验现象会表明说，没用的，就是说你过了一阵子之后，就是当车流分流到一个新的车道，可能很短暂的时候，你会感觉到提升效率，但是再过个1个月或者3个月或者半年，就是说你会发现道路依然是如此的拥挤，不管你开了多少条小道去缓解，它都是一个道理。那像制裁这回事，我觉得也是一个道理。呃，不过见怪不怪，我觉得当成一种趣闻啊，或者一种新闻，只能把这种新闻当成趣闻来读，来理解了，因为他们好像就是离我们的生活很远，但其实又离我们的生活很近。蝴蝶的每一次震动，它都可能是影响世界的，所以说我们就关心着吧，然后看看，拭目以待。谢谢。